So my mother-in-law found this hideous little cabinet on the side of the road, and of course she picked it up for me because that's what she does. She's awesome like that. So we're gonna give it a good cleaning. I can't say this enough. A good cleaning.
Yeah. What you doing there? What you got going on there? Just with the thing that you're doing.
Look, I know it's gross, but we're gonna clean it super well. And this piece was going in a dumpster somewhere, so we're saving it. And we're gonna give it like we've got liquid sandpaper, and then after that I'm moving into TSP, and we're just pulling out all the stops of this. I don't want to throw it away. It's solid wood. It still functions. We're gonna turn it into something awesome. It's gonna be great. So I'm just going over with this is actually like a scouring pad because I needed to use that to clean this thing. It was just beyond, but it's gonna be fine. This is the TSP. I'm spraying it on, and then I'm gonna wipe everything back with water. Oh man, that's gross.
Good. That's good that you're saving the planet one piece of junk at a time. No, that's very admirable. Good.
Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence. Anyways, I'm going to keep cleaning this because it needs it. But look, you can see the dirt is melting off with all of the cleaners that I've used. And you can see the water there is now turning colored. I had to do several buckets of water to get this thing fully cleaned. Obviously, it had been outside for a while. I think it was actually in somebody's garage originally, and they were using it as like a shop cabinet. So now I'm going to be taking my primer, and we're going to do all of the inside, make sure everything's sealed and locked in. And then it's also going to give me a good base on the doors because we're going to be doing some decoupage, as I like to do on the inside of the doors. They really needed something because it's such a small piece. I feel like in order to make money on small pieces like this, you kind of have to do something fun with them. So, I mean, not that I don't always use decoupage, but still, I think it's especially important here. And then we're going to leave the outside as it is because it's all like that kind of crackly style paint, and it's going to be like an awesome texture for the final result that I'm going for. So yeah, just priming the inside here.
Oh, good idea. No, you should definitely keep the crusty stuff that's on. That's a great idea.
Okay, Nancy. Anyways, priming the inside, leaving the outside. It's going to be a textured piece. That's the whole goal that I'm going to go for. I like to work with my pieces. If there's something on it that I can't fix or that I don't want to take the time to strip this entire cabinet back, it's not going to make me that much money. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to work with it, not against it. It makes more sense to do that. So yeah, prime the inside, leave the outside alone, and it's going to be awesome. Plus, the whole fun textured business is a huge trend right now, and I thought I would, try my hand at it. So I've got my quick set, and I'm just mixing it up to the consistency that I like, and then I'm going to add even more texture to this piece. So since I use the scouring pad, none of the paint is going to chip off terribly. I don't mind some chipping because I want that to kind of be the look, but for the most part, it's all going to stay on because we did such a good job cleaning it. And then I'm adding more texture. So there's a little bit of brush strokes, a little bit of pouncing with this. This is a chip brush, so it already leaves texture anyways. But we just want to add a little bit more and kind of really grunge this thing up as much as I possibly can because, I mean, it's kind of how the piece wants to live anyways.
Okay. Oh, it's a trend. I didn't know it was a trend. I didn't know somebody actually wanted trash. So, I mean, now I know. Someone will like a piece of trash that you painted.
It's not going to be trash when I'm done with it. It just looks like it right now. Anyways, things are looking up. I've got my tissue paper here. Actually, not tissue paper, sorry. This is a napkin. This is a 3-ply napkin. Napkins are amazing to decoupage with because they're so thin, like incredibly thin. You do want to make sure that you get the final layer off, and it is hard to do it without tearing it, so you need to be extra careful. I'm, of course, using my Chalk Mountain Poly because that's my favorite thing to decoupage with. And this tears more easily than tissue paper. So be very gentle. I work in sections and I just accept that there's going to be wrinkles. I'm not even using a brayer this time because I just don't feel like it needs it. It's all going to work with the piece. And so I'm just getting it down there, being very gentle, pressing it in with my hands. And once the paper gets a little bit wet with the poly, like I said, it tears very easily. So I'm kind of letting it tear naturally around the little latch there on the door. And then it's, aside from just being extra careful, it's the same process as any other one. Only I don't do a full section of poly down first. I work in smaller sections with the napkin. But so I'm going to do this napkin here, and then I'll do a little bit of tissue paper that are in stripes, a little striped print, and then more of the napkin down below just to, I don't know, make it a little more fun, a little more exciting on the inside. But so now I'm sealing over the top with the poly again to make sure that it's really on there. And then when I go through with the sandpaper, I'm going to wait until it dries some. I don't want to do this when it's wet at all because it will just pull the napkin off and tear. And I already did, like there was a couple spots where it tore and lifted up, and I just wasn't worried about it because that's kind of how this piece is going to be. But yeah, so now it's dried enough to be able to do the sandpaper. You don't want to do it wet. You will regret that decision. And then since I didn't like the overlap, since the papers are so thin, you can see the floral prints coming through the striped tissue paper. I'm just going to be putting on some, just a little bit of fance. So we're going to do kind of a camouflage metallic stripe over the top here. So what I'm using here is my Chalk Mountain Poly, and then I'm taking some mica pigments, and this one is just, I have this Mayron gold pigment. You mix it up to your liking. If you use less pigments, it's going to be less gold. If you use more pigments, it's going to be more gold. You kind of just do it to your own desired. I don't measure anything. I'm just like, oh, this looks great. So that's what I'm going to use.
Hey. Hey.
What?
Your head's in the way. You can't see because the camera's behind you, but your head is in the way and literally nobody can see what you're doing. I wish you were better at this.
I wish I was better at this too. Sorry, my head is in the way. It's just painting on a gold stripe. Sometimes I am bad at this. Anyway, so with this piece, I'm using up all of like my leftover mixed paint. I'm just putting it all on there. So these are all just little containers that I have got mixed up from previous projects that I needed a certain shade and I didn't have it exactly, so I mixed up my own colors. And they're always just leftovers lying around. So I thought, you know what? This is a great piece to use all of that stuff up. So that's what I did. And again, I'm kind of using my brush every which way. I'm letting Lucas use his brush every which way because it doesn't matter. We're just right now putting layers and layers and layers on because that's what it is going to be. Just layers. All of them. I am making sure to occasionally open the doors and make sure that I'm getting that so I don't have a halo at the end. You know, when you open the doors and you realize that you haven't painted anything on the inside and you have to try and go back and match it. So if you just continuously go back and forth, it prevents you from being angry later. So again, I am just adding in all these colors. I laid down my base coat of kind of like the duck egg color, and then I did just kind of after that darker colors around the edges and more of the lighter colors in the center, just because I want an overall ombre gradient blend type thing towards the center. But I'm not terribly concerned about how it's going to work out. I just am going and just waiting to see what will happen. And nothing is perfect. I'm just throwing colors on here for now because when I go to distress and do that kind of stuff, I want colors peeking through. And in order to do that, you have to have layers of colors. So you can just kind of be as haphazard as you want in this process, and it's going to look great. It just looks really, really, really terrible right now. But it won't in the end. In the end, it will be fine. So I decided that I wanted to line the shelves in this. This is just a soft gray and white liner that I really, really love. I use it quite a bit. So what I do is I measure one shelf, and before I stick it on, I see if it will fit all the shelves, and if that's the case, I will lay it out and cut my own all 3 sheets before, laying one down, just because it's easier to cut them outside of the cabinet than to try and cut them while they're in. So yeah, just threw on some of these. Now I'm taking white wax, and this is just gonna kind of help the colors all marry together and look kind of more soft and almost stone-like. It just gives a really nice effect, and then it will put all the white wax down in all of the texture that that the piece originally had, and then also that we added. So this brush is awesome because the bristles really help push it down into all the texture. But if you don't have a brush, it's fine. You can use a cloth. It just takes a little bit more work, a little more elbow grease. But it's a super fast process. And the bonus of this is the white wax also seals the piece. Now, if you don't want something this strong with the white wax, you can always seal it first with clear wax or poly, whichever you prefer. And you can then kind of take off more of the white wax. It doesn't soak into your paint so much. So that's a personal preference, but I wanted the full effect of the white wax. And then after this has been sitting on here for 20-ish minutes, you can go back with a rag and wipe everything back.
It it looks like with the white wax, all the work that you did is now just null and void. Are you gonna do something else to it? It looks just like it's back to garbage.
No, it doesn't. It's gonna look great. Just wait for it. I haven't wiped all the white wax back yet. It looks a little crazy when you first put it on, but as soon as you start wiping it back, you'll start seeing the colors come through, and it kind of needs to settle in and sit there. So just be patient. Also, of course, I'm doing something else to it. So I'm gonna add some stripes, and I'm using my larger tape. So it's not the regular blue tape. This is the size up from that, I want to say. I don't remember what actual size it is. And then I'm going to be taking my black wax and using a brush for this as well, and kind of scrubbing it in each of the lines. And then I'll kind of angle it down to end the tape because I want the stripes to look like they're fading off into the piece. That's the goal here. And then I'm kind of doing everything reverse. So on the right side, it's on the top. On the left side, it's on the bottom. And then we'll do it to the sides as well.
I like the inside though. I do like the inside. That was a good idea. I mean, aside from you having your head in the way, but I mean, the inside looks lovely. The outside leaves something. Just keep going. I'm sure you'll fix it. I'm sure you'll fix it. I hope you fix it.
There's nothing to fix. I'm still working on it. It's still a work in progress. Good. Yes, still working on it. Still going. Just getting all the dark wax in here. And then any other place that I feel like I want dimension, I'm adding it. So around the corners, just anywhere that I think needs a little more depth, I'm adding in the black wax. So then I'm going to peel the tape back and take my rag, because it's been sitting on. Again, you want to let this sit for a minute. And then I'm going to rub vertically with the stripes, obviously. So you'll see, even though I'm rubbing and some's kind of getting everywhere, you can still see definitive lines there. And then you just kind of rub them further down to make it look like it's melting out into the piece. And then I decided, hey, you know what else we need? More layers of stuff. So I've got my stamps, and I'm just using random colors with them of all the colors that I had, and putting the rose toile stamps kind of all over this piece. And it's really starting to come together now. I'm pretty excited about this. I will say that I ended up adding feet to it, and it's just the little wooden base that I've done before that you guys have seen, but I think it looks really cool now, and I'm super, super happy with it. I love all the stamping on it, all the layers, all the texture of everything. It's just beautiful. I did go through and give it a quick scuff sand everywhere just to make all the other colors pop through and to distress the stamps back a little bit, but that's it. It just looks so grungy and lovely.
All right. It turned out okay. I see what you did. I see what you did. Just, I wish you had better hair while you were filming. That's all.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I had better hair too while I was filming, but I don't have it in me to fix it every day.
Hi guys, this is Mirror Taryn here. I've been watching so many Julie Noki videos, and she is so just hilarious. If you don't know who she is, you should totally watch her. And I just thought this was a great thing because we have these inner monologues, and by we I mean me. You might not, but of everything that I'm doing while I'm doing it. So I thought I would just kind of give a little share into my brain. I'm sorry. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. Kind of weird, I get it, but I thought it would be something fun to do, a little bit different of an idea. So hope you enjoyed this piece. It was really fun. It was a piece of garbage. I mean, truly, my mother-in-law got it off the side of the road, and I revamped it to this cottagey style situation, and I really like how it turned out. We'll see how it sells. I'm gonna list it soonish. So I will see you guys next week. Oh, before I forget, we're gonna be doing a giveaway next video because I have supplies coming in and the shipment's not here, else I do it on this video. So keep your eyes peeled, having a giveaway. Okay, talk to you later.